potentially go for something like a priority jungler too.
I want to know what they're talking about. Like, whatever it is hilarious. And I want to be in on that joke. It's going to be XiaoFang slamming the Nidalee first pick here. Top Esports. Remember, static shift changes. Hery, Sivir, these kind of picks that can use and abuse that static shift very effectively could become higher priority. JackeyLove loves a bit of Hery.
And that'll be something that we potentially look towards later on. Oh, that'll be such a mean thing to do. Take both of the priority AD mid laners in the Tristana and the Corgi. I'd imagine that they just gonna pass that one over. Angel, very strong on the Corgi, had some good games on that against Top Esports in their first time showing them just a few days ago. I think we're likely seeing the AD carry trade from both of these mid laners.
Do you know, the funny thing to me is if that Corki had been locked in for Top Esports, you could send Tristana bot, which is kind of the OMG thing. when Abel was on the roster, he was the one that loved that Tristana bot. Mordekaiser's going to be locked in for 369. We've seen this time and time again to take on that Skarner. We've seen it to varying levels of success, but the better top laners in the league typically look dominant on the pick.
We've seen 3 answers to Skarner. We've seen Twisted Fate, Rumble, and then the Mordekaiser. And 369 has been the Mordekaiser guy. We saw Wayward have a decent game on it, but it feels like if you really trust yourself to win in the 1v1 and not get caught out by some ganks early, Mordekaiser, once he stays ahead of that Skarner, proves a problem in early game and then also in team fights. When you have something like the Nidalee, you need to be very aware of early game lanes and how they're being played around. So if 369 can play well around this, Creme, we know he's a great Tristana as well. Of course, got a number of solo kills up at MSI with this champion too. I think that even though the Nidalee is an early game powerhouse, you need to really see XiaoFang pay respect to the power of the solo laners from Top Esports already locked in.
So if he does do that, if he finds a way to impact those solo lanes, Zyra ban, I love that we're seeing a Zyra ban. Like, we've not even seen that much Zyra, to be honest, but like, just the threat of it,
is
you
there.
know, the fear of that pick just makes me chuckle. These AP junglers really have shaken things up in the LPL. Yeah, I mean, Karthus still up for a ban, but going to be left open if Tian does want to go in that direction.
I think you can potentially even just lock in the Ziggs and give last pick jungle again. I feel like jungle is in a great position to last pick in the current meta. It feels like there's so many different options. You can see the entirety of the enemy team and just think, okay, can I deal with the Nidalee with the lanes that she has paired up with them as well, or will I have my lanes coming to support me, which changes the jungle matchup? That can be some thought processes coming through. Instead, actually, they say, right, let's go hold potentially AD carry for last pick flex. The Lilia coming through will definitely help combo up with the Leona for engage later on.
So AP jungler there, and like you say, leaving that AD carry until last, or at least marksman until last pick. AD carry doesn't feel appropriate at the minute. As the Varus, wouldn't be too surprised to see that one. There's even a lethality angle with this draft with the Corki and the Nidalee as well. You can just go sort of full poke. Ppgod goes for that big engage tool of the rep.
So Starry, you're going to go towards here. You'd want something that can control the lane, because you're already looking at a top lane and a mid lane which are arguably losing push early. Tristana pushes Corki in, Mordekaiser can go back and forth with that Skarner, but you want something to kind of give Nidalee a platform. And XiaoFang, of course, LDL jungler coming up towards OMG. Done a lot of good work, but he needs to have himself a good platform to face off against Tian in the jungle across the rift from him. Of course, one of our very best junglers in the LPL, especially when he's on form and completely locked into the game. Now with the last pick AD carry, Top Esports want to contest that priority in bot lane, so they lock in the Jhin.
Jhin's been played by JackeyLove once so far this split, and he got 18 KDA on the pick, so it did look pretty good. So far in his career, he's 12-7 on the Jhin. It's not necessarily a pick that you think of JackeyLove for, but then I said that about the Ziggs the other day, and I immediately got like 3 different messages saying, I remember JackeyLove playing Ziggs in 2023, and it looked great, okay? Like, all right, I'll just say it's not a signature, guys. Yeah, plenty of potential to set up for Creme and Tian to carry, though.
That's, again, another thing which feels like it's because of the weight of games we have in the LPL. We play so much here. The players which you think you know, the players you think have their iconic champions, it says they got a million behind that too. You can actually be very good at picks, even if they're not necessarily even part of your top 5. When you've played hundreds of games in your career, you can see people pick out some extra stuff too. I really think that with the fearless drafting coming into this split, we get to increase our knowledge on that degree as well.
We certainly do, as we head into game 1 here. Top Esports versus OMG. And we'll see what OMG can bring to bear against, let's be honest, an incredibly tough opponent, one of the favorites to take the entire LPL. Fresh back from, I keep saying fresh back from MSI, it's a few weeks ago now, but one of our representatives on the international stage. And in their most recent series, Tian looking really, really good. Double MVP in the previous series against OMG. Let's see if he can be in form again today.
I really think that jungle matchup should really inform how this one goes. He had the Nidalee last time. XiaoFang gets a stab at it now. Game number 1.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Them some one-sided gyos right there.
Can you tell who's favorites here? Can you tell who's got the crown on their back? I don't know. It wasn't obvious to me.
I just love that we laid out for the gyos and then immediately 369 just like whomp whomp with his mace in the face. Oh dear. Here we go then. It's going to be a bit of a, I was going to say a bit of a late mate, not really, just getting some vision here from OMG. Both junglers seem to be starting on that top side though, so could be interesting. We could have a bit of a collision down in the bottom lane later on.
And both these jungles farm very quickly on once they get up to it. They don't always have the fastest first clear. Nidalee used to have an insane first clear when you could auto reset when you change forms and a bunch of other things. Very mechanically proficient clear it used to be. They've changed some of that now, so it's easier to clear with her, but she doesn't have that same top end. Of course, once you get that first back, both of these junglers will want to be getting ahead. You need to see how many camps they can secure from the enemy jungle. A lead in the jungle with AP junglers can be actually very important.
It certainly can, and it's very snowballable as well. Like both of these, as Meiko finds a Zenith Blade, pushing forwards to just continue trading here. Fourth shot available. JackeyLove tried to save it for Starry, but needed to reload. Needs to continue to contest that wave. I do believe Starry and Ppgod should hit level 2 first. You see JackeyLove and Meiko back it off on the minimap as such.
And that's going to be quite important because remember, this Varus kind of came in to say, look, we need to have a lane which is going to have really good control to be able to allow Ppgod to join up with XiaoFang, maybe get some value out of this Nidalee in terms of the early duelist potential that they have. Level 2 will be hit soon though by Jacky and Meiko though, and they can follow up very quickly with stuff like the Deadly Flourish from that Jin into your own jungle should XiaoFang go a look.
XiaoFang spotted by that ward as he continues to plow through those camps. The observers are very keen on this bottom lane. I'm constantly on edge that I'm worried that it's all about to kick off. Starry managing to space out away from that fourth shot. And rightly so. I love the way that when you see a good Jin player in action, they'll hold that fourth shot as long as is reasonable without missing CS and without missing a potential window to just keep people away, to use that fourth shot as a zoning tool.
You can even trust, it means that you can sometimes use your Q to farm as well with that too and just hold onto your fourth shot a little longer. It's I remember when Jin was released, there was a lot of talking about the farming. It's maybe about fighting right now though. So we do see both junglers, as you said, both on the bot side of the map.
It's all about the crab right now. XiaoFang trying to move over. Tian gets it, pushing in the other direction though, so shouldn't be any way for XiaoFang to contend this one. And actually, Tian's got the inside track. I wasn't sure if he would maybe try and move up towards that top crab as well, but it looks like he just goes for the reset.
Angel's going to be able to teleport back in towards mid lane as well. The reason that bot lane crab goes over towards Tian is because Creme has the push in mid lane on the Tristana, and we said that actually one of the big things about playing Nidalee in this kind of matchup is having pushing lanes to make sure you get access to camps. He doesn't get the double crab or the bottom crab in this case as well, because Creme has that pushing lane. That's why we mentioned it before. It's quite far from Meiko.
Yeah, perhaps further than he actually intended there, but luckily for him, not quite underneath the tower. I think that was mere pixels away though, as Angel having to respect Creme here. Angel already having used that TP as well. Creme hasn't head back to base yet. I wonder if he will reset on this next wave and go for the cull himself.
Which they could do, could also just look towards as many fighting options as possible to just utilize that early game power. Maybe just not go in for that call and just say, look, I want to get control earlier than you can. Make value out of that one. Haven't really talked about top lane while this happens as well. Mordekaiser has been an LPL answer into the Skarner. 369 has been very good at this pick. He was even playing it though, even back in spring playoffs. He was the one player who really pulled that out, and he was really, really good at kind of utilizing the power spike to the champion to be an annoyance in team fights and be an individual lane menace at the same time. So have to track whether he can get ahead of the game. Might be put behind by XiaoFang. There's an angle up here.
I'll look for it. He's not yet level 6. Oh, the synergy. Not quite there. Hery just joining this squad. And, oh, hang on. He just hit level 6. XiaoFang can't do this on his own. 369 walks away.
He walks away with it. 2 missed spears, and then Italy can't get good value. 369 gets the ultimate, walks away. Important moment. We talked about how if you mess with the Mordekaiser's lane, you don't get ahead of the Skarner, and you can fall behind and become a little bit less relevant. Tian now going to get found out by Ppgod, but because of that play towards top side, Tian gets into the enemy jungle, gets a camp away. That's important for the jungle matchup too. 369 surviving in the 1v2 buys an advantage for his team.
He didn't even have to use the ultimate either. That's the impressive thing, is just the threat of it alone is enough to force XiaoFang away. Now Ppgod in the top side. Top Esports looking towards those grubs potentially. As the battle for mid-prio here at 6 minutes into the game. 3 players from either side in the area. As Top Esports now starting these grubs off. Remember, 369 has that ult if he moves down.
And he has the flash to get right on top of the Nidalee. That's the Zenith Blade missing though, so XiaoFang doesn't get locked down.
Creme uses the ultimate onto Ppgod to get him away. Everyone else grouping up with 369. Angel and Creme just tussling it on the bottom side of the players. Now the pinch comes out onto the rest of OMG. It's a double ult from Hery, but no follow-up from the rest of the team. Angel now trying to step forwards, but Creme still threatening on the back side. 369, I believe, has taken Ppgod into the death realm here, and he's trying to find that 1v1, but doesn't have that much damage just yet. This is an absolute mess. 4 players stood on top of the other 4. Damage across both teams. Meiko goes down. XiaoFang finds first blood. Creme now has gone too deep for the play. Flashes over the wall. Angel flashes after him and should finish the job. It's going the way of OMG right now as 369 tries to escape over towards Tian again. Tian on the wrong side of the map. The dots coming out. Can they actually find these kills though? Ppgod trying to step forwards, looking for 369, but he's not tanky enough. The dot is taken away. Tian might just be able to carry this one. He looks for Angel next for the double kill, and now on to Hery he goes. The movement speed is enough. Tian takes over.
It's the unofficial quadra kill for Tian. Hits level 6 midway through the fight and could have even used that to clean up another. He was ready to keep going. We promised blood, and blood is what we got. 7 kills in towards that top side. Oh my word. Top Esports walk away with 2 of the grubs, a load of gold, and they get themselves into a really good position in this early game, because also the big matchup which was just affected by this was the jungle matchup. The Nidalee gets harder to play as the game goes on, and the Lily is going to have more value.
Oh boy, Starry now in trouble. Meiko level 5 sets up the CC chain. Oh, the full try hits! Starry flashes, just gets out, and the deadly flourish from JackeyLove as well. My goodness, that was tense.
Yeah, Ppgod hops over his AD carry with that crash down and almost gets him killed. Very lucky to get away with that one, but Top Esports flexing the muscles once more. This will be a replay of the top side. Of course it has to be. Meiko misses the Zenith Blade at the first, and I think that Top Esports are very, very lucky the fact that Angel doesn't have mana for this fight. I think if he does, that's a dead Creme. You have the numbers advantage towards the top side to get to this point, but he can't finish off that play, which means that you have both mid lanes turning back towards this, and Angel can't affect it anymore. As we said, 369 still had that ult from the earlier play. He hit level 6 in the 1v2, but didn't use that ultimate. He gets to stack up his Conqueror, keeping that big fight. Tian stacking up the Conqueror at the same time. You'll notice also that you've got players like XiaoFang who have themselves the first strike. Less rune value in this early game from the side of OMG, and I think that does make a sizable difference. Tian just keeps walking forward, keeps stacking Conqueror, gets a huge amount of damage, and gets to rejoin the fight. It's an absolute mess, and Top Esports, credit to them for sticking to it, remaining calm, readjusting when they have the cooldowns back up, and taking the 2v2 at the end of 2v3 rather at the end of this.
pretty sure the only thing that hurt Tian this entire fight was the turret. Like, that's literally the only thing that hurt him. Oh, I guess the blue buff got a hit in there as well.
Good job,
Unofficial quadra kill for Tian. Like you say, the Conqueror must have got so much value. And I saw before the replay, that was a casual 7.5-minute Leandrix finished off for Tian, by the way. That is a terrifying little deer.
And this is the kind of game where if you get really far ahead as Tian, you can kind of get yourself, much in the game earlier when the LeBlanc could get an early QSS, if you get an early Zhonya's this time for Tian, when you already have your damage, I think that this Lilia is going to absolutely pop. He walked away with the double MVP last time against OMG, just playing on Wednesday. And I think you can understand why OMG are a little bit afraid of this guy. They first picked the Nidalee away from him, which he got one of those MVPs on earlier in the week, but it feels like the Lilia is just as potent.
Yeah, we're looking towards a triple MVP at this rate, honestly. Yeah. Tian feeling good about this matchup, apparently.
If they 4-0 them, does that mean that they won?
2,500 damage at a 7-minute fight?
Like, if they 4-0 them in the same week, do they actually win a best of 7 against them? Is that how that works? First to 4? Is that how it works?
I guess so, yeah. I guess they have. I have to say, it's been a long time since we saw a format like this in the LPL. Hery, I mean, I'm not sure he's really done much with the ultimate there. Kind of held him in the passive range for a long time. 369 finds the kill, sets it up for Tian to get an assist as well.
One of the reasons why Mordekaiser are really good against Skarner. Skarner can often W out of plays if he feels like he's too far up the lane. He can just scuttle away. Can't do that when the Realm of Death keeps you in a certain boundary. 369 just burns him down, and that's going to be a big problem. He doesn't have the ult for this fight. Hery doesn't have teleport to get back to it, though, so even though you don't have the Realm of Death, very happy to take the fight with the numbers advantage.
3 grubs for TES. They'd love to get more, and the smite guarantees that 4th one. That was the spear. Going forward, Meiko trying to find it. The solar flare down, and an easy kill. Onto XiaoFang. Top Esports are not messing about today.
Meiko has been really aggro around these grub fights, and understandably so. He really trusts his team to come out with the winning fight if someone's locked down. You can also see that Angel, yes, he's doing a good job of getting some chunks onto Creme at the start of fights. After his Valkyrie is down, you can tell that Top Esports are really happy to take the fight when the Corki's not in range to follow up. They have just had way better understanding of their spacing in fights, where their follow-up's coming from, and how much damage they have on the table. OMG falling behind in gold is going to make that calculation of that damage a lot harder to solve later into the game.
This is already feeling pretty tough for OMG, and we're not that far into things just yet. 2,000 gold lead, but it's where that gold is, right? 1,500 gold lead for Tian at this point. He's looking towards Angel, who immediately has to respect that Valkyrie, because Meiko's here too. You see XiaoFang and Ppgod trying to answer that very same roam, but that's not a fair 3v3 at this point.
No, that's not a fair fight. And it feels like now as well, because OMG are losing across mid lane in terms of push, top lane definitely in terms of push too. 369 with the Rylai's means that Hery can't even walk up to the wave very easily. He's slowed. And when you're slowed, you get hit by skill shots like this. This matchup is going really off the rails. Top Esports have all of the ability to play across the map.
Death Realm's about to come off cooldown as well, by the way. So Hery, you got to be real cautious now. He has TP, so maybe could be worth just heading back to base, topping yourself off before you rejoin the fray. And Drake spawning in just over a minute as well. First one went the way of Top Esports. 5 grubs have gone the way of Top Esports. This is feeling like an objective masterclass so far. And look at Meiko. This is a deep, deep flank from Meiko. XiaoFang pantses out of the Zenith Blade.
Every time Meiko throws that Zenith Blade, just the world just stops and flips a coin and goes, are we fighting yet again? Because as soon as one bit of CC hits, I think that Tian's life becomes so easy. I think if Meiko lands CC, Tian pops the ult off of a Swirl Seed, and the fight's pretty much over from OMG. OMG, the way they're going to win fights is by avoiding the CC first and jumping on a target of their own. If they can get themselves a Nidalee assassination off of a Varusol or something like that, then I still think they have a shot in this game. But as we said, as the game goes on, the Nidalee in particular gets harder to play. And I think that Top Esports across the board have quite an easy composition to follow up plays with. The burden of execution and the burden of the gold deficit as well, firmly on OMG shoulders right now.
A lot of pressure for a roster that realistically is still fairly fresh as a 5, you know, especially with Hery now getting into the mix. See what they can do. Oh, Ppgod. Crashdown does sort of keep him safe a bit there, so Meiko can't quite follow up. The timing of the crashdown was quite good there, cancelling the Zenith blade so that the Q can't follow it up.
And he didn't have an 80 carry to hop over and put them in the path of a 4th shot this time, see? No, he's learning as the game goes in. So Dragon's up, Herald's up. I want to see if Top Esports want to just contest the objective. I think they just want to fight.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. If I'm Top Esports, I just want to fight with how far ahead Tian is in this game. OMG, though, looking like they want to contest as well. Creme forced away by Angel here, and Ppgod charging forwards as well. I wasn't sure if he was going to go in to try brush for the crash down there. As Angel trying to clear some vision. 2K, 2.8 on the Dragon. XiaoFang in the pit. Tian in the area, flashes away from Ppgod, and that sets up for a Top Esports fight here. Solar Flare onto Angel as well, and the shots come in from JackeyLove. Easy as you like. Top Esports are running OMG over. This is brutal, as Tian isn't even done just yet. The W comes in, but the damage is enough to threaten.
Well, we were right about one thing. Top Esports just wanted to fight. We could have maybe seen a trade of the Herald and the Dragon trying to split the map a little bit, but Top Esports look at where OMG are positioning and say, right, no, square up, let's settle this. And they walk away with another fight. It's the great thing about this matchup. It doesn't matter even about the rosters in the last, 2 years of play. OMG Top Esports promises bare-knuckle fighting, and it just feels like Top Esports have rolled across with these early gold leads into much better situations. I think Angel's been playing pretty well to deny Creme the best entry into the fights. But that's about the end of the good news. Yeah. Top Esports are finding so many good entries into these fights. This is a little bit after the first bit too. You can see the flash out from Tian. If you don't catch that Lilia, Lilia just kind of ends the fight right now at this item break point.
Yeah, the double sleep as Angel is caught, so then you've got follow-up as well. I mean, it's gorgeous. Top Esports finish that one off as Hery in the death row once again, and he comes out of the death row but sees the entire gang has arrived in the top side. 369 sets up another. That's 6 kills on the Lilia.
Where did Meiko come from? He just waltzes in from OMG's own jungle. I can expect Tian being there, but the Meiko Leona as well. Don't underestimate him. He's been having a great game. But Tian, yeah, star of the show. He's comboing up really well with his top laner, comboing up even better with his support. I think that Meiko has given such an easy job. 369 doesn't have the ult, does have flash. He's clearing out the wave. How much can you do in a 1v3?
Oh, nice flash from 369, and now everybody dives on top of the shield at the last second. I don't think it's enough. XiaoFang nearly went down, but 3 people is enough to finish off the raid boss from the top side.
And raid boss, he is all the same. It's a big investment towards the bot side, takes a lot of time, and I think they will get themselves the tower off of this. It's got to be surely, right? We're going to go back to a replay of what happened before. Hery tried to run away, got that ult used on him, which was why it wasn't available for that bot side play. Thing is, though, because OMG have invested so much into taking out the ultless Mordekaiser, you can see that Top Esports take down the mid lane out of turret, and they're really, again, just accelerating the game.
I thought JackeyLove was going to try and drift through the jungle there, and he just immediately hit a wall. Whether on purpose or not, I'm not really sure.
We should start a driving Hall of Fame for the LPL. We have Hacker, we have Xiaohao as well now. We need to start having inductions into the driving Hall of Fame for LPL. Forget any other Hall of Fame. That's the important one.
The DVLPLA. Yeah, so far we've got 2 people that have passed their driver's test. We'll see who else can. I'm pretty sure there was a couple of people that did some good jungle drifts in spring when it first came out. Maybe we'll need to compile a list at some point of who we trust to be the designated driver. Everyone else can have a drink.
They can. Design has ult this time, but he needs to pull it early. You don't want to be sat here in a 2v1.
Right, he just walks it off. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do all this one. Just literally walk away. They have no CC. Creme now stepping forwards. There is a ward behind him, but I don't think there's realistically any threat Hery's bringing to that table.
Not in that position. You'd need 2-3 people up towards top side. Creme feels he can push in there because he knows that, again, 369 takes the control of bot half of the map and people have to respond to him. Yes, he did die in that tower dive earlier, but it does mean that OMG had to reset from that. They were slower towards top side. Top Esports take themselves the blue buff on spawn because OMG tried to kill 369 bot side. They're late towards top lane. Top Esports, minor advantage to them. And this is why it feels so suffocating to play against Top Esports. Yeah. You see people overcommit somewhere on the map, and Top Esports just very calmly and quickly go somewhere else to get, even if it is just a minor advantage, something for the trouble of the other team committing too hard.
And it's really nice to see the timing as well from that, because Creme was already there waiting for the blue buff to spawn. Meiko and Tian move over as well. Like, Creme has made sure that there is no contention, made sure no one else is in the area for the time being, and then they just quickly finish that blue buff as it spawns, like you say. Just suffocating style of play to have to go up against. Drake spawning soon. Byron is up in 10 seconds. Top Esports seem to be wanting to control that side of the map. Oh, thought the Deadly Flourish was going to land there. Meiko goes pretty deep for this one. Has to flash away.
Has himself Merc Red, so it means that the CC chain doesn't quite materialize. 369, of course, very, very strong at being able to disrupt the back end of the fight. So even if you find yourself one of these really big engages, I feel like Top Esports, they just want to fight now. Now, whether that's around the Dragon or whether it's in the enemy jungle, Top Esports, if they get themselves a good fight, that's probably the game going with it at this point. Watch for Meiko getting one of those big engages, probably not onto Ppgod. He's the one person who it's less impactful if he gets CC'd, if he crashes down. But OMG, they can't afford to lose a big fight now. That would be Baron. They're already going to give over Soul points. They're going to try and split the map and get, well, their objective bounties on the table now. That's how far behind the game they are. But they need to be very careful of the next fight of the game.
I want to see more from OMG, but I don't know if this is the game to be asking for more at this point. I feel like they are pretty far back. I don't know. OMG are just a fun team, you know. Even without that whole roster, I still like. I want to believe, like, players like Ppgod, players like Angel, always have some fun to bring to the table. XiaoFang too, a player that's always had some, dare I say, mojo.
Oh, his Viego is so high on the mojo. When he gets towards that kind of champion, I love this guy. Like, I mean, we're at the point where we start talking about, like, the LPL ship of Theseus, where it's like, well, even if you change all the players, do we have the same kind of style? Going towards the 1v2.
Okay, ult comes out from Hery. 369 still has that Death Realm available and finally goes for a Hery, forced to flash within the Death Realm. Can he finish the job, though? The Q lands, but the damage isn't quite there. Oh! The bird! The Leandries finishes the job. 369 solo kill.
Oh, you tried the 3v1 the last time, but he adds a checkbox to his checklist for the game. Kills someone in the outnumber. 369 walks away with a really important kill. It's another heavy commitment to one side of the map. I think OMG are quite lucky this time that Top Esports aren't really in position to start up the Baron, because I feel like if you're taking out 3 people's attention towards bot side and killing one, there should be a loss on the other side of the map. A rare point where it feels like Top Esports aren't immediately slamming the accelerator down once you've shown your hand on a side of the map.
Yeah. I mean, Creme finished off the tier 2, so they still get a good amount of gold.
Okay,
just
yeah.
The fact that the Tristana isn't in the Baron pit, you've got a Jhin. Like, without the Tristana, the Baron is pretty slow. So, but the fact that we're 22 minutes in, and we're even considering a 3-man Baron, it says a lot about the state of this game.
Imagine if you had the Zyra, you know, you could just one-man it at that point. Makes the game so much easier. But yeah, I mean, this is the problem with the Mordekaiser into the Skarner. If you don't shut down the Mordekaiser, this is what they do later into the game. They are very obnoxious, and they can take out a person in that dedicated 1v1 within that timing window of that ult being up. This is why we're seeing it into the Skarner.
Absolutely fantastic timing on the grab there from 369-2. Pulls everyone, so just disrupts the potential burst and gives him that extra second to get damage down onto Hery. Now 369 joins the squad, and instead they're just going to start this one off. Ppgod has to be the one to try and get in there and just dissuade things, but it's already gone. Starry dodges the hook. I mean, Top Esports, they've already got the objective. They could just walk away, but I reckon they want to fight this one. Meiko has that solar flare available. Mid-prio for OMG. They need to be so careful. Tian's hunting for a sleep. Meiko is hunting for a solar flare. OMG showing strength, though, and pushing towards Tian. They will not just be bullied out here. Tian trying to escape, and looks like he will be able to get out.
You can see that they had a couple of wards left in their own jungle to play around. Maybe they could have caught out Tian on the retreat. For Top Esports, showing for once, discretion is the better part of valor in this one. We have seen a couple of games today where there have been some team fights in the late game from the team with the advantage, and they throw things away. You want to avoid that if at all possible. Top Esports, they get themselves that back. They still get themselves the enemy team blue buff as well, another small advantage for them. They get the quick recalls, get themselves back onto the map. Minute and a half until the next dragon. They'll have huge items, but Creme, he's kind of left out of the memo here.
It just hops over the wall. He'll be okay. I just want to quickly point out on the scoreboard before we get to game-ending territory, it's almost a Flame Horizon in the jungle. Tian, we keep on seeing him go in and take that blue quadrant. Well, he's done it like 3 times in a row, I believe, there, which in the jungle is even more oppressive because you're denying your opponent that CS as well. He's just a few camps away from 100 CS advantage in the jungle. That is something you don't see often.
And Tian really adapting well to a lot of these farming junglers, and he might just be adapting well to the fights. He's going to pull the ult. No, he's not. He just goes back again. Has flash, though.
Won't be able to get out with their lives, but that's about all they get out with is the Baron of cannons now. Start to hammer away. There's only one tier 2 remaining for OMG. This Top Esports just, I mean, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. And I love that it's not even that aggressive. It's not that old school Top Esports just brute force things. This is clean gameplay coming out from the squad. Chain of Corruption comes out onto Creme here. We'll be able to rocket jump just in time. Tian forced to flash away as Ppgod goes into the back line, but he's gone, evaporated before our very eyes. Starry next on the chopping block, pulled in and finished off. 4th shot queued up, hits onto Angel into the fountain. I think Top Esports might just end the game here as XiaoFang loses half his HP to 1 auto attack. This is brutal. This is unbelievable. Top Esports not having any of it, and Creme getting a bonus one at the end of things. Jumps on towards Angel as well. Wants a bit of revenge for the early zoning that Angel was able to get off against him. But Creme, remember, he was the mid laner for OMG, and he makes sure that Angel remembers it.
There was only really one team on the Rift this game, Munch. OMG, they happened to be there, I suppose, but they weren't really playing. Top Esports control from beginning to end. I think that they played so well around the Lilia and the Leona. I feel like that jungle support has been just such on another level when it comes to LPL.
Yeah.
I even think when you're looking currently at BLG slumping a little bit, on current form, if you would play right now, and I get that BLG be warming up and whatever, but right now, Top Esports have hit themselves with the ground running really well.
Yeah, honestly, they're looking in incredible form right now. Tian especially, double MVP in the previous series. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's secured himself another one here in game number 1. He's on a bit of an MVP streak. We're going to jump into a break and then find out how game 2 goes down.